Everybody, welcome to live sessions. We are going to be early today for a couple of reasons. One is that the person we have on today is in Norway, and so they, can't do it at 7 o'clock at night because of the time difference. So I'm really excited. We have Arthur. I'm going to butcher this, and you're going to have to forgive me. Stuliem? I'm going to ask him when he comes on. But as always, we are sponsored by Knoble Designs. And Knoble Designs will give you 25% off of your first order. So I'm going to show you something they can do. So they can do custom design work. I thought I had grabbed this already, but custom design work. So I don't know if you guys have all seen what I've had made. So this is one of them that's been made. It was just out of we had designed it. It's not one that Camden has as a jacket, but it's something that I designed with them to make a one of a kind. So if you need merch or anything like that, that's what they're able to do. And off your first order, they'll give you 25% off. So it's a steal. You can't go wrong with that. And they're amazing people, and they're so nice, and they're so good, and they ship anywhere you want, and they're just amazing. So be sure to check them out. If you have any questions, let me know. Their link is in our bio, okay? So let's get Arthur on here.
Hey,
Hi! How's
how
it
you
going?
doing? I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excellent. It's nice to have you on. You're our first person from Norway.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. We've gone. I'm excited that we're kind of international now. So now we get to. I can say I'm international now. So how have you been? How's your day going so far today? It's kind of later for you, so it's been a whole day for you, huh?
Yeah, right now it's 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. over here
Yeah.
in North Norway.
Yeah.
It's for me it's been the whole summer has been kind of crazy. It's I've been trying to balance 3 jobs and have some gigs on top of that and
Yeah.
and
Oh
everything.
my gosh. Are
But
you a vampire? Do you not sleep?
no, we don't sleep here in Norway, so
Okay. So I thought,
yeah.
whole different culture over there.
Yeah, no, but this weekend, this previous weekend, I got to play at a festival up on the
Yeah.
west coast of Norway, and it was just a lot of fun. It was 3 days of just playing and having a lot of fun. So it was
Yeah.
nice to kind of,
Awesome.
yeah, it
How
was.
cool. How hot does it get there in the summer?
Um, in Norway we have, I don't know how it would be in Fahrenheit because we use Celsius over here, but it's about 30 to 35 Celsius at warmest. So I'm guessing that
That's
would be,
70 to 80 degrees.
I'm guessing, yeah, something
I
like
think
that.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what
yeah,
it is. I think that's what it translates to.
yeah. Probably at least 80. I think it's, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
somewhere around there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we normally have a really warm summer, but um geez, it's this summer's been like bipolar. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not trying to knock people with bipolar, but it has been about, like, Washington has no idea what it wants to be. Doesn't
no.
know if it wants to be 118 degrees or if it just wants to be 50. I don't know. It's been a summer. Like, we had a whole week where it was like 115 and the whole state was freaking out because we don't have that kind of weather here.
No.
So we were like, everybody was scrambling to get like air conditioners and stuff. And like, we have I have a fan in my window, like, it's just like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nuts, man. Like, we have such a strange weather here. But Norway, man, I have been like really wanting to go there. It's like on my bucket list of places to go. Mostly because I love orcas, and orcas live here in Seattle, and And there's a pod of orcas in Norway that you can swim with, and they'll
Yeah.
just like let you swim with them. And it's been my dream to just like go there and swim with them.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So
as you were telling about how bipolar the weather has been in
yeah,
Washington, that's usually how it is, at least here in the south of Norway, where I'm from and where I live.
yeah,
It's the last 2 summers or 3 summers maybe have been like really hot weather. It's been maybe 5 rainy days or something like that. But this summer
yeah,
it's been it be maybe raining cats and dogs the first one day, and then the sun is shining and it's almost 35 degrees Celsius.
yeah.
So it's been a couple of weird years and
Yeah, it
everything.
really has. Like it fascinates me because last summer was like so hot for us. And then this summer has been just this like up and down and up and down and up and down. You're just like, okay, can we it's summer. It's supposed to be sunny. I should be able to go swim. And Washington's like, nope.
Yeah.
You don't get to. It's just so weird to me. I find it like I would much rather have like one throughout the whole, because I'm kind of sensitive to it. So like if it's like 100 one day and like 50 the next, then I'm like, okay, I'm done. Like I just want to sleep. My body doesn't like it.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, I would like to talk about your music, and I want to talk about all kinds of things. So first off, how about you tell us like how you got into music? Let's do that first.
Uh, for me, it started basically before I was born. It was my grandfather. He was a musical man.
Yeah,
he was playing the accordion from the age of, I don't know, 10 or 11, 12 or something like that. And this was back in the 20s and 30s over here in Norway.
yeah,
And he would go skiing over the mountains in wintertime, and just go and walk over the mountains in the summertime, and play if they were having some kind of party close by.
yeah,
And he and my grandma, they had 8 kids, and all 8 kids are somehow, they're either singing or playing an instrument, or you
yeah,
name it. And that obviously has been passed on to us, who, the children of their children again. and
yeah.
and we are now 20. I think we're 24.
Oh,
A lot of those 24 are also,
hold on,
you
guys.
know playing or singing or something. And so when I was born, I didn't have a choice. And started to play the guitar when I think I was 6 or 7 years old.
Wow. Yeah,
Um, and then I started singing somewhere around 10 or 11, and it was horrible. It was I've seen the footage. It was not good at all.
yeah,
And hopefully it has gotten better since then. And the reason why I kind of, or not kind of, but why I ended up with country music is I'm from probably one of the smallest towns in all of Norway.
wow.
And we when me and my dad was working on a farm when I was younger, we were always listening to country music. He is a big fan of Alan Jackson. And my guitar tutor, he was a big fan of Johnny Cash. My
Hmm.
uncles were huge Waylon Jennings fans. So
Yeah,
so country was kind of, uh, has always been close to me. And when I make music myself, it is what is
yeah.
lies closest to my heart.
What you hear? Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. That was going to be my next question. So
Yeah.
you got ahead.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I man, you would have asked me months, like 5 years ago, and I would have said I don't like country. Like I was not a country fan to save my life, you know. Like I had the like 90s girls country, but other than that, I was like, I don't want to listen to that stuff, you know. And then all of a sudden, this like country pop thing happened, and then I don't know, I started liking like the newer stuff, and because there's so many country artists like here in Nashville, well, I'm not in Nashville, I'm in Seattle, but like here in the United States, in a couple of parts of the United States, there's a lot of country artists.
Yeah.
And so I got just like bombarded with country artists, and then I started listening to everybody, and I was like, I guess I do like it. So and it's so fascinating because I forget, and this is so naive really, I guess, but I forget that country can be outside of the US, you know?
Yeah.
So like it's just interesting, but the different like dialects of country in each, because we've had Canada and UK, and now you're Norway, and so it's interesting because the country's just different in each place to me.
Yeah, but I've heard multiple people say that, oh, country music exists outside of the US. I'm like, yeah, of course it does. It's of course.
We are so naive. We Americans think we have everything. It's so stupid. I really did. I felt like an idiot. I was like, country in Norway? That's fantastic. Like, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
But we've had I think 2 or maybe 3 or 4 Norwegian country artists that have performed in the Grand Ole Opry as well. So we have had Norwegian country artists. I'm not. It may be just the 2. I know 2. But I maybe think there's 3 or 4 who have performed. None of them are members, but they have been performing, and there is this in Minnesota, which is obviously the state with the most Norwegian immigrants.
Yes.
They have this Norwegian kind of festival over there, and there are multiple country artists here from the South that have been over there to play at that festival. But yeah, country music has been, I think, my mom's step grandfather. He was a huge Jim Reeves fan, and he had this a lot of his old Jim Reeves vinyl or EPs, and so already back in the 70s, country music was huge.
Wow.
Jim Reeves, he was performing over here at the biggest stage in Norway in 1963, right before he died, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just recently that it actually has been a huge genre for Norwegians for a long time, and Alan Jackson and Brad Paisley, just to name drop a couple of more names, they have released like albums here in Norway called Norwegian Favorites.
Wow.
And I think both of them have been to Norway multiple times, and Brad was here lately, or was here, I think last time was in 2017. And I got to meet him. We were performing at the same festival, so it's huge here in Norway.
So you got to open for Brad Paisley?
What? Can you repeat that?
You got to open for him?
No, not to open. No. But we played the same festival. I think I played the Thursday or Friday, and he played the Saturday. But I just stayed the rest of the weekend because country festival, of course.
Yeah. Of course.
But the a lot of the festivals here in the South are very country music, or there are a lot of country music, even though it's not primarily country music festivals. Like the most local one that is closest to me is called Roots Festival, and in Roots you can basically put anything you want, blues or rock but it's a lot of country at that festival as well. So it's country music in Norway. That's a thing.
That's a thing. Like that boggles my. I don't know why it just boggles. Okay, really, I think if I went, I haven't been over the water, right? So I think really if I saw anything that I would recognize here in America, I think just like music like that, like I think it would boggle my mind anyways, just because I don't know, maybe I'm that naive, but like I went to Alaska and I forgot that I was in Alaska and I thought that I was like in a different place, you know, like a different country, whatever. And it really isn't because you're in Alaska and that's in America. But we got there, and as soon as we left the airport, uh, I saw McDonald's, and I was like, "Oh my god, they have McDonald's here!" Like you forget that not everything is in your little area. You know, it's just so
We
silly.
have that here as well.
That's what I'm
No,
saying. Like
yeah, but
it would boggle my mind.
do you know the comedian Gabriel Iglesias?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was visiting here in Norway, I think 2012, I guess, and and here in Kristiansand, the most southern city in Norway where I live at the time, or for the moment. McDonald's, the restaurant, is in this old building which used to be a bank. So it's like it looks very kind of royal,
Yeah.
And when he made I think he made a like a sketch or something out. He at least my cousins and a couple of friends, they were like in town when he was done with the show and he was
Yeah.
going straight to McDonald's, and they just heard him scream because it was a McDonald's in like a very nice building. Yeah, it was yeah.
That's what us Americans do. We're just like, this is crazy that it's actually in a different country. Like, it's just so funny to me. I don't know. I am that way. I find it just like fascinating that you can go to like a different. But you know what's interesting is I noticed too is it's not everything that's here is like as far as the food in each chain, like they're different there too. Like you
Yeah.
like I don't know. I think Japan or something has like some sort of like steak option or I don't know, something like that, like something weird.
Yeah.
So like they have different types, more fish options, and so I find it interesting. It's not like the same across the board, you know. So
Yeah. Because a lot of Norwegians, we're not very big fans of pickles for some reason. I don't know why, but
okay,
the McDonald's, or they are not allowed to just make the burgers without pickles. They have to kind of make it, and then you have to say no, sorry, no pickles. So
yeah,
obviously there's a difference in the culture and
culture,
obviously the
yeah.
taste. But what
And I
fascinates
love
me and
pickles. You
what I
guys are
kind of
missing out.
can you repeat that?
I said I love pickles. You guys are missing out.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Uh, but what I kind of not just kind of, but what I envy the American country on is that the live music culture is way different over here because
Wow.
in the 80s it was probably much better, but nowadays it's a lot of it's you're lucky if you get like troubadour jobs, but it's very few band jobs
Wow.
on the town, and I have friends that have been visiting Nashville and like Tootsie's where you have
Yeah.
three floors with live music in every
Yeah.
you know
On every floor. Yeah.
it's that's not how it is over here, unfortunately.
Mm.
I wish that it was, but it's like here in Kristiansand, it's I think there's maybe four or five places that you can actually perform live music, and usually it's just DJs. It's that's a train.
The train. You're probably gonna do it again. I just moved here, and I always forget that there's a train here. I've never lived next to a train in my life, and I totally forgot.
No
Sorry.
worries. No worries. I used to live right by an airport, and
Oh,
used to hear every time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, every time.
Oh my gosh, no. I mean it doesn't I mean it goes right behind us. It's not it we have a daycare downstairs, and so they always honk going past because the kids get all excited, and
Yeah.
So he always honks for the he knows to honk for the kids. So it's yeah, you know.
Having fun.
Yeah. Doesn't help matters at all. But I guess Jessica from Knoble Design, she says that McDonald's in Hawaii offers pineapple with all of their meals.
I don't think I get to see the comments on,
Oh, okay.
unfortunately. Maybe no. I don't know. I'm not good at Instagram lives. I've been trying, but
Yeah,
I'm,
it's okay. Not a
yeah.
problem. I can read them to you. She's the only one
Yeah.
that's made a comment so far that I see. Let me see if there's any that we've missed. Boots Country was telling us the difference between Celsius and saying hello.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
Boots is here, yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about like how you got in, how you came about like with your music and like what your first song was maybe that you wrote?
The first song I ever wrote, I'm not ever going to perform because it was terrible. It was, it was, uh,
Usually they are. Mine
yeah,
was.
yeah. It was. I think, yeah. No, I'm not even going to tell you. I don't. I think I've just, my memory is just, yeah. And now it's gone. It's out. It was so
Yeah.
bad. But um, yeah. The first song we ever released was back in 2017, and that was me and my cousin Simon, who's my co-writer on most of the things I write. And I think we wrote that song back in 2012, and that was a song about, we were both, we like to drive snowmobiles on the mountains and uh, explore nature and everything, and that was what we wanted to release, and those first two songs was, I think, are not my best work at all, but it was a nice experience to get to release music, and
Yeah.
I think when you first kind of been through that, I think you get kind of, you become a better songwriter as well, because you start thinking critical of everything
Yeah.
you write, because you know that probably someday I'm going to release this, and
Yeah.
what will people think about this? What will people think about that? And some of the people I've been talking to have told me that that's not how you should be thinking. You should be writing exactly what you want, and I think there is something to that. And on this album, there are definitely songs that I was afraid was kind of too honest, if you know what I mean. It was.
Yeah.
I was afraid that people wouldn't get the story, wouldn't get what I meant with the story, and that it was, it was scary, because some of them are some of the lines in those specific songs are very emotional for me, because it was back at a time when things weren't as good as they're
Yeah.
kind of are now, or are headed to now. But I love writing songs, and I love releasing music. It's why I do what I do, and I hope this is just the beginning. I do.
Yeah. That's amazing. Do you ever so you said that your cousin is your song your like your
Yeah.
co-writer. So do you also write on your own, or are you more like a co-writing situation?
Yeah. On this album, Road More Known, I think there are two or three, maybe three songs, where Simon has been co-writing, and the rest is just me alone. Um, I think, yeah, two or three songs. I guess
Okay.
it is. Um, and but we released a band album in 2019 that was also under the name Arthur Stuliem. Um, but that on that album, it was kind of more balanced. I think we wrote four songs each, and we had two songs we wrote together. And I think where you were headed was, do you like to write better yourself or along with others? And
Yeah.
For me, it depends on the song. It depends on what I want to express, and how I want the song to be, because I'm probably a bit more commercial in my songwriting, and not that I try to be, but it's just the way I write. And Simon, he's more. We both write, from the heart, but I think he's better at writing straight from the heart, and just going kind of more directly on call it the issue,
Yeah.
or the point of the
The
song.
topic. Yeah.
And I think that's why we work so good together, because I think that there is a mixture there that can be a good recipe for making a
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. I do write songs on my own, but I have a co-writer too, and we're always the reason why I always like to ask that is because some people just prefer co-writing. And
Yeah,
it just helps them more be like better musician, or they just want to do it co-writing. That's
yeah,
me. Like I can write on my own, but I'd rather do a co-write, just because I feel like it gives more, like, you're able to have I don't know, just like another mind in it,
yeah.
and see
Kind of
it
more
from a different
credibility to it,
perspective.
or yeah,
Yeah, I really like it. It's a lot of fun. Plus, it's just something fun to do with another musician and to be creative,
yeah.
with a different creative. But how many people have you written with? Just him, or?
It's yeah, it's just him. I have been talking to other people lately, and we're probably gonna try something out. But so I'm looking forward to that, because it's a new experience, and
Yeah,
new way of writing. And so, for the time being, I've just been writing with my cousin. Yeah.
yeah, awesome. What is your, like? You can answer either your personally or together with him, but what's your process for that? Like, or do you have to like be in the moment to do it, or is it like, what's your process for writing?
Uh, I don't have kind of a call it a recipe for writing a song. For me, I can be either in the middle of it, or it's something I can look back to. It's something I can uh, write that is maybe inspired by other events that have not happened to me, but has happened to others. Um, and the process for me is not necessarily that I write the lyrics and then put melody to them, or the other way around, that I have a melody and I have to put lyrics to it. It's I don't know what kind of decides how I write a song. It's sometimes I just get a line in my head where it's,
Mm.
oh, that would be a great song title, or a great line in a song, or I get a melody that's catchy. I have to record that on my phone while I'm driving, or something, and I
We
have to
all
stop
do
to it. Yeah,
it. There's hundreds
um,
of them. That's why we all have the bigger phones with the
yeah,
more memory.
yeah, and I think Luke Holmes kind of explained it, or described it very good. He said that songwriting is like a puzzle where you can decide exactly how big the pieces are, and the whole puzzle, and
Yeah.
yeah, you get to decide it all by yourself, and
Yeah.
how you get to the end, to put it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. That's true. I think I've heard him say, or I read that he had said that once, but
Yeah,
that's very true. Like, it's different for everybody. There's some people that they can just go into it and write a song, and then there's
yeah,
others it's like you have to have a couple of days.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just so it's fascinating. After I've done so many of these, it fascinates me what people's like processes for it, because some people are just like, I don't even have like you're like, I don't have a process, I just kind of do it. Other people
Yeah.
are like, I have to sit and be focused and just like V line for it,
Yeah.
you know. And so it's just interesting to me that it's just the most fascinating question for me in these, because I just love hearing what people have to say about it.
Yeah,
And so
when I was studying, I was always, you know, a couple of days before the exam, I would always get right into songwriting mode, and that
yeah,
kind of annoyed me because I wasn't supposed to be in songwriting mode. I was supposed to be in studying mode and exam mode. But every
we've
time,
all done that where we're like,
yeah,
yes, we're studying. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and it never gets wrong. It's every time we were
Yeah.
supposed to have an exam, it was like, oh, there's a song that I just have to work on this for 5 minutes, and then two
Yeah.
hours later, and oh
Yeah,
man,
right.
yeah, well, exam tomorrow, we'll
I'll
pass
ace
that.
it. I got it.
It'll probably be okay. It's
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I was the same way. Just getting a drink.
yeah,
I was the same way. And it was so fun because, well, I used to always like for exams I would actually like listen to music, and then that would like as I was studying, but then I would do the same thing. I would get distracted for like 2 hours of the session I was supposed to be studying for, and like I'm like, oh, that's a good lyric, and then like write it down, and then you get like all fascinated with that, you know, and you're just like fixated on the song that you're doing
yeah.
instead of studying. So I had to stop listening to music because it was like inspiring me to write.
Yeah.
It was not helping, it was hindering.
I don't know if there any I still don't get any comments on my screen here.
No, there's a bunch of people that have come on though and said hello.
Yeah.
Or come on and like so we have I can read some of the people that maybe you know some of these people. Arnie Bacon.
Yeah, yeah, all in the
Bacon.
bucket. Yeah.
Yeah. Christopher Birkeland.
Yeah, yeah. Berglund.
Christopher
Yeah.
Birkeland. There we go. Okay. T Dale 70.
Yeah, that's the creator of my electric guitar. I have a
Yay!
yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
And then you have Chad. I saw his name earlier. I think it's Shoepicker. Shuepicker. Shoepicker. Chad Shoepicker.
I don't think I know that.
No?
I mean, it's difficult when I don't have the name in front of me or the
Yeah.
profile picture because I usually recognize those, but I'm not good at names, unfortunately.
Boots of
Boots.
Europe just popped on. Hello.
Hey, Boots. I don't get to see your comments.
Laura meets musicians. She popped on too. She's awesome. And then Sigrid Foss.
Yeah, it's Sigrid Fossland. It's a Norwegian artist. Yeah, country artist.
Music. Yeah. So yeah, and then in the beginning, I have to go back a little bit. Our family of friends of the show, High and Dry, showed up. So they're here. Riley Repen came on. Knoble Designs, who sponsors us, is on. And Kenneth Leon Jorgensen.
Yeah, that's a Norwegian guy. Norwegian promoter.
This might be KJ Elmeridal or K Gelmeridal. KJELLMARIDAL. Marital?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have to spell it out in my yeah.
Yeah.
That's the bass player that I was playing with this weekend.
Oh, he actually said something in a different language, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And he said, so the words, I'm just going to spell them to you, okay?
Yeah.
Is HEI space DU space KOM space DEG space HJEM. So
Uh,
they do Comdeghem.
oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He's asking if I came home like from the festival.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know. I was gonna butcher it. I'm
so,
sorry.
so now you can speak Norwegian.
Yay! it's the first time I've ever done it. So there we go.
You're natural.
I'm a natural. Yay! Thank God. I would hate to butcher that and not be. All right. But Laura says, glad to see you both. Greetings from Italy. So, yeah.
Actually, my biological grandfather, he is actually from Italy, or is Italian.
Wow.
He came from, or his parents came from Sicily.
Oh, that's so cool. My heritage is Danish from Denmark.
Yeah.
Well, my great grandma, I think it was, came over from Denmark. So for a little while I was trying to speak Danish, but I've decided that it's a very difficult language to learn. Yeah. So I kind of gave up.
Actually, without knowing and how it would be for outsiders, but I would guess that the Norwegian language would be the easiest to learn of the Scandinavian. Okay. It's just a feeling. Probably just because I am Norwegian, but
yeah,
but it feels like the grammar in Norwegian are kind of often more logical than at least Danish. I'm sorry, and at least Danish.
It's totally okay.
And Norwegian and Swedish are very much alike. A lot of words and some pronunciation, but I would guess Norwegian is the most easy to learn, and everyone knows Norway is the better country of the Scandinavian countries. So
maybe we're gonna have to revisit that. If I say yes, then everybody else is gonna be mad at me, and I gotta be Switzerland. I gotta be Switzerland, everybody.
Neutral.
So Laura says that she's from North Italy.
North Italy.
Yeah.
Actually, in North Italy, I was supposed to be there a couple of summers ago, but I just couldn't make it. But I've heard that. Well, I heard that all of Italy is a beautiful country, and it's one of those countries I want to. Yeah, one of those countries I want to visit before I'm gone.
Yeah, me too. My mom's been there like a bunch of times, and she brings back the pictures, and I'm just like, I want to go.
I want to go.
And see the Eiffel Tower. I want to be cliche. I just want a picture in front of myself with the Eiffel Tower. It will happen.
That's in France, though, and in Italy, you have the Tower of what's it called in English? Tower of Pisa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the one that sways, right?
That's right.
I heard somewhere that it's like unswaying now, like the level it's leveling out. And so I was like, oh, that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
You can't call it the Leaning Tower of Pisa anymore.
Or it just goes the other way around. It just leads to the other side.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So Laura says, we have Thor here. I don't know what that means, Laura. You have to
how's it spelled?
On that. I don't know. She was asking. It's a question.
Oh.
We have Thor here, but maybe not. The food is certainly the best aspect. Oh, she's responding to things, and I'm not catching it. Okay. It's beautiful to visit, but not so much to live in. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think we all could say that about where you live. It's like, when you go to a place for a vacation, everything's more beautiful when you're there for a vacation.
I know they had this kind of the same saying in Australia that Australia are nice to its tourists, but hard on its own people. I think.
Oh, really?
Like that. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I always wonder that about other countries, like if that's a thing, like if it's all over the place, like if people are generally nice to the outsiders, or if they're mean to the outsiders, or just like Oh, you're from America. That's great. You know, good for you.
Just because I have an
You know,
accent.
like, thank you. And we're all excited and we're like, we're in
Yeah.
Norway. And then, you know, you guys are just like freaking American tourists.
Yeah, a friend of mine called John Griffin. I don't know if he's on here, but he was visiting, I think, Sweden and I think the most eastern part of Norway a couple of years ago, and he was everyone's so nice to me, and like probably just because I have an accent,
Yeah, right.
blame it on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I the first time I went to Nashville, they told me I had an accent, and I was like, I'm in America. I don't have an accent. I don't have an accent over here. I'm in the West Coast. I don't have an accent. And then you realize, yeah, you do. And then we had somebody from UK on, and she's like, I just love your accent. And I'm like, what? Like, I always forget that too. Like, oh, that's right. I live with Americans. That's why I don't have one. I think I don't. So I think it would be the same for me. Like if I went over there, I'm pretty sure somebody would say something about that too, because I get it all the time when I go like out of West Coast.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a thing.
yeah. I don't know about because I do hear the difference between some of the accents. I mean, Oklahoma is probably one of those where you can.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
over pronunciation of the words. I think it's
Yes.
they made fun of Blake Shelton because of that.
Yep.
In our community, my
Yes.
name is Blake Shelton, and I think
Yeah, you're like your cliche Southern like
yeah,
accent where they're saying it.
yeah, the real South. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying is
Exactly.
my name is Blake
That's like
Shelton,
Alabama, like
Alabama,
and
yeah.
Georgia. Yeah.
And I think everyone kind of does an impression of forget about it, New York.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
and because my
Oh
mom,
gosh.
my mom, she was born in New Jersey, and she said that her uh, her godfather and the family, they were kind of making fun of the Brooklyn people because they didn't say New Jersey, they would just say Joycey. We're going to
Yeah.
Joycey. Joycey.
That's the one accent I can't do to save my entire life. Like if somebody had it, there's no way. I can't even fake it either. Like that's how bad it is.
And I've also heard when Mark, I think it's Mark Wahlberg, when he was from Boston, right? When he does like
the Boston accent, yeah,
deep down Boston accent, it's like,
yep.
Who are you?
It comes out like when he's in interviews. My phone was ringing. Yeah, like it comes out when he's like in interviews and stuff, and he'll definitely like have that accent, and you're like, wait, that is not. Or you have like an English actor that you don't know is English, and all of a sudden they're like talking, and you're like, wait, you're British? What happened here? Or Scottish? Like, well, the first time I ever heard James McAvoy, like I thought he was an American actor, and then I saw him on a show, like a talk show, and he's from Scotland.
He's from Scotland.
Scottish accents. I'm like, what? Like, how is that even possible?
I had the same kind of experience with Christian Bale because I think probably the first work of him I saw was the Batman trilogy, and then suddenly, wait, you're British, and
yes,
like, what?
Yep.
And yeah, I had the same thing with James McAvoy from Scotland.
Yep.
That was like, what?
That blew my mind. I was like, because I've seen all of his movies. He's like one of my favorite actors, and I was like, how did I not know you were not from here? Like, this is crazy. Like, it's so interesting to me, because then you find out all these people have an accent, and you're like, are you really doing that, or is that like
method acting?
Like, am I just hearing this? Yeah, it's crazy. But if you want, since we have a few people on, I think people would love to hear you play if you want to play some music.
I was just supposed to ask because I do have my guitar right here.
Yay!
And should be, and I'm going to be playing. I don't know how many songs we have time for, but at least
We
one
have
of them
15
are,
minutes.
yeah. Um, I'll do the title song from the
Okay.
album called
Yeah.
Road More Known.
Yeah.
So this one it was written by this was when it is me alone, and it was actually one of the latest songs I wrote before we went
Okay.
into the studio. It was really inspired by Luke Combs' album or no song called "Every Little Bit Helps."
Okay.
Every little bit
Yes.
helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Road More Known. I've had better Friday nights, a better reason for the day to pass. But now since you're gone, I gotta figure out how I'm moving on. I'll turn every rock wall where I ran. I'll find my way, but until then, you can find me chasing an endless night underneath those neon lights. Race a little bit of hell and get back to finding myself. I might get lost, I might be half-past gone, but I'll find a road more known. I didn't even have to tell my friends, they could read it off my face. They didn't know that I went white, that it had been a tough goodbye. But I put it all behind and get it out of my head. I'll be the first to say I'll get there someday. But for now, I'll be chasing an endless night underneath those neon lights. Race a little bit of hell and get back to finding myself. I might get lost, I might be half-past gone, but I'll find the road more known. I've been through it all before, but I always pick myself up from the floor. Yeah, I'll get moving on when I find a road more known. Chasing an endless night underneath those neon lights. Race a little bit of hell and get back to finding myself. Yeah, I'll be okay. Give it time and I'll find my way. I might get lost, I might be half-past gone, but I'll find a road more known. Yeah, a road more known.
Yay!
Thank you.
Awesome. So going into this album, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do, like a concept, or did you just kind of decide as you went?
Kind of, yeah, because 3 of those songs on the album was released last year. When we released 3 singles, and it was supposed to just be 3 singles. And then that was the first work I'd ever done with my producer, called his, in Norwegian it would be Vidar Dale, but you would probably pronounce it Vidar Dale.
Yeah.
And and I just loved working with him. And that summer, the last song we released of those singles was June 5th, and just right after that, I was like, "You want to do an album?" He was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And so I just sent him basically almost everything I had,
Everything. Yeah.
and just said, "Pick the songs you want to produce."
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how many songs we started out with, but it was a lot. And then we kind of uh, I think we started out with, he picked out, I think it was 20 or something, and then we went down to like uh 16 and 15, and it was getting harder and harder to just,
Yeah. Pick and choose.
yeah, and we ended up with 13, including those three from last year.
Wow.
And we did She'll Be Gone. One of the songs has two versions, which one of them is the radio edit, and the extended version is kind of how me and Simon kind of pictured how it
Yeah.
would be. It's not exactly how Simon pictured it would be. He has not been as that included in the making of this album, but he was obviously one of the songwriters.
Yeah.
Um, and the process of making an album and recording music is so much fun. It's, experimenting, how would this work, how would that work, and I think the only thing we're missing from the album is a, clear duet. I do have my sister doing the harmonics on most of the
Wow.
songs,
Yeah.
and it's her voice on "She'll Be Gone," where she kind of has some parts of the song where she goes solo. But we wanted to make a duet, but it just didn't work out. But I think me and Vider Dale, I think we created a very uh, what's it called, diverse album. Like
Mhm.
there's not two songs that are very alike on the album. It's kind of, every song is different from the other, and
Yeah.
that was what we wanted to do. We wanted to make an album where we wanted to uh, yeah, do something that was not anything
Yeah.
like the other songs we were recording.
That's awesome. I appreciate when there's some thought put into it. It's not just a bunch of songs put together,
Yeah,
where it's like a cohesiveness, or if there's a theme, or if it's like, okay, I want to make sure that this is what's happening. Like,
yeah,
I always appreciate when artists do that, because there's some artists that are just like, I just want an album, and they just like
yeah,
throw you whatever it is, and you're
yeah,
just, I like these songs, but they don't seem like they go together. like,
yeah,
like there's always some kind of, but it's interesting to me because a lot of people don't think about it being like a theme or something. They just kind of like do it. It's
yeah. I
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
And of course, in this day and age, it's not very normal for at least new artists to release an album.
Yeah,
It's way
exactly.
more like
Yeah.
releasing singles, and then when you have 10 or 12 singles, then you record
Yeah.
maybe a couple of new songs and put them all together and call it, hey, it's a new album. but 12 of the songs have been released over the
Yeah.
past 4 years maybe, and of course that's a way of doing it. But
But
for
that
me,
seems to be the trend with everybody, though.
yeah,
Hi,
yeah, it is.
Laura. Thank you for joining us. Um, it seems to be I've asked a couple of artists about that, and I know a few of them are just like, we're just going to release singles because that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
And with COVID being up and down in America, it's whether we're locked or whether we're mandated or whatever it is. So everybody's just like to put, and nobody has albums anymore, like,
no,
official albums. I'm the Dorcas who actually likes the CDs and the albums and like having the cover and like all of that, but like I'm kind of a nerd that way. But like um everybody else just is like, no, I think we're just gonna do singles, like, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
so
And there's nothing wrong with that, but by any means. But I think it's a pity because uh, I think that there's uh, some kind of mystique around releasing an album, and it's
mm,
unheard songs, and I think
Yeah.
both for the artist and for the listeners, that you kind of get a lot at the same
And you,
time, that you get to
yeah.
kind of explore it in a short amount of time, instead of that you have a single that you released
Yeah.
and people can listen to it, and some people maybe even listen to it as much as they get tired of it. Hopefully not, but and then there's another single and it's the same way. And when you then create the album and there's 12 songs that have been released
Yeah.
previously, it's like what else is new here?
Yeah.
And it's maybe those just the two songs, and it's not how I want to do things, but I completely understand why people do it, because uh,
Hey.
it's an expensive, to make an album. It's a lot of
It is.
expenses
It's so
at the
expensive.
same
Yeah.
time.
I haven't done it either. Like it's a lot more to do and to do that than to. Hey, Lily, please stop. Somebody came to the door. Um, she's she's so funny. Um, yeah. So I personally, like, in what I've seen is that, like, in making an album versus the singles, it seems to be you can, like, space it out so that you have enough to, like, save for each single,
Yeah.
rather than, and then you stay, like, some people, like, have been, I know one artist, Nick Isham, he's been doing all this year, he's released like 2 singles every month, like,
Every
to
month.
keep himself relevant,
Yeah.
and then uh Camden West, he's done it like every couple of months to, like,
Yeah.
once you kind of have heard that one for a little bit, then he releases another one. And so
Yeah.
he has kind of a thing. I know another artist, she was releasing one like every 2 weeks, and then there was like one person was doing it like once a week. So it's interesting to me with quarantine how people have, like, chosen to stay relevant, I guess. But
Yeah.
that's a lot of music, I think, for, like, unless you have that much backlog of music, that's just like, that seems daunting to me. Like, I have only like 15 songs, and I'm like, I would be done in the first month, like,
Yeah.
like, I feel like, unless I was like one a month or something, but I feel like that's just, like, not enough. And I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this seems so daunting. But yeah, I mean, I think albums are kind of a lost thing now, and I appreciate when artists do it, because I like having the music all at once, where I'm just like, I listen to whatever song I want to, rather than, like, trying to pick and choose.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's
Um,
and I think we had a lot of fun in the studio when we were recording this album, and we got
mm,
to kind of compare the songs to each other, and
yeah,
how do you think that
exactly.
this one would do? And yeah, this one would probably be a better fit for the more traditional country listeners,
Hmm.
and this one would be a better fit for the more pop country listeners.
Yeah.
With the
Do you enjoy that process, like
I think
the
it's so much fun.
recording process?
Yeah, so much
Yeah.
fun, and that's why it's kind of a detoxing period after
Yeah.
everything is done. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I want to go in the studio again and record something
Are
new,
you a
but
perfectionist? Like, I know that I've been in a few sessions, and I would be like, if it was my song, like, I would just be like, no, let's do it again.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I hear
yeah,
the difference. Like,
yeah, I am, but I know that I am. So I have just
yeah.
everything of the producing. I've just said to Viderdale that
Yeah.
you handle it. I do trust him with
Mm,
150%.
yeah.
And I think he's done an amazing job producing this album, and I'm very proud of what he got
Yeah.
to do with the songs that I just sent him on my phone, and said,
Yeah.
hey, do you want to produce this? And
Just do
he
it.
did.
Yeah. How exciting.
um,
That's even better when you can trust the producer and know,
yeah,
like, that they'll take care of it.
yeah, and he's kind of more than a producer, because he's
Yeah.
been helping a lot in not necessarily the marketing, but exposing the songs to the right
Mm,
people, to the right
yeah.
radio stations, to the right festivals. Now that we're in kind of the booking season for next year's
Yeah.
summer, and he's I don't know how he does it. It feels like he works day and night because he has a lot on his schedule, and he still
Yeah.
gets time to annoy people with my music. So, 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 yeah.
That's awesome. So what's it feel like to have your song on the radio? How was
Uh,
that?
it's well, I do not have my song on radio in Norway. I do have
Oh,
on
I thought you meant it was in Norway. Okay.
yeah, like the national radio. I th I think you have to either have a record company
Oh,
or
okay.
a special I do not have any contacts in the radio stations,
Yeah.
so I haven't been able
Well,
to
aren't
get
they missing out?
no, yeah. So but my the songs are on, I think it's 8,000 radio stations in 100 countries outside of Norway, of course, because
Yeah.
and yeah, it's very fun to see if I think I think we hit numbers 5 or 6 in down in Tasmania, Australia, and
Wow.
we've been I think we've been C or B listed in the UK,
That's awesome.
and so it's kind of when we don't have I don't have as many followers as probably I should
Yeah.
have when I'm doing this, but so what I'm chasing is like how does the song do it on that station, and you kind of
Yeah.
search the radios and on Instagram and just look, oh, it's yes, B list,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun. It is.
That's so cool. I love it. I think that's so awesome. I always like to find it like I've never had a song on radio, so I always like to find out how people feel about it because it's got to be
Yeah.
just like this cool like and you're international even, so that's even better. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
You could literally say that your song is in Australia. I can't say that.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Mine
that
stays
was
local to Washington.
yeah. Yeah. No, but I do have on this album I got great help, or not help, but promotion from Grassroots in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's been, I think we've had 300 or 400 spins on Music Row,
Yeah.
and that has been a lot of fun. I've had some interviews with people on the radio station on Music Row, and it's been a very good response there as well. And I think that's why it's so much fun doing this kind of interviews like this, when even though it's sometimes the time difference may be a bit
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it's a lot of fun doing it anyway. I had one I had to stay up to 2 or 3 a.m. I think actually it was 3 a.m.
Gosh.
and and then I didn't get like the invitation link, and the interview was postponed, and I was like, oh man, are you kidding me?
Oh man, yeah.
Work
I try
tomorrow.
not to be that rude. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if it's something I can swing like during the day, then I'm just like for sure. Like when I had a full-time job, I didn't do it. I would have to like wait. I would always have people that are from out of country on the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I had the whole day, but yeah, like I just cannot. I can't say that like I would make somebody get up at 3 a.m. to do this. Like I feel like that's too much, unless it's like a radio show like live where you kind of have to, I guess, but like where you're calling in or something like that. But like I'm like, no, I'm not that important. Like it's just an interview about music. We can reschedule. Like I could do it at a different time. I don't need to be that like I used to be in the beginning. I was like, no, you're gonna do it now. And I'm like, no, I didn't think I would be international, so I didn't think I would need to worry about that ever. But with the people in like New York, I'd be like, no, we're at 7. You can do it at 5 or 6 or whatever it is. And I'm just like, whatevs. But then like when we started getting people international, I was like, that's true. I have to either adjust the time for me or we have to figure out like, so it's been a learning experience.
Yeah.
But I decided that we weren't going to do it because I was like, I'm not making anybody get up at 3 or 4 or 5 in the morning. No, I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to make you do it.
And I appreciate it. It would have been tough to get up in the morning. I think 4 a.m. I think we were scheduled
Yeah,
before, and I
no,
was
we're
like,
not.
oh,
I'm not. No,
yeah.
I'm not gonna make anybody do it. I mean, before 9 is not happening. No,
I
like
know
after
people.
12 and before 9, I'm just not happening.
I know people here in Norway who has actually gotten up at 4 a.m. to do an interview.
No,
I was like, man, you're ruining it for everyone else because now we also
everybody.
have
Then
to
they're
get
gonna
up
be
at
like,
4
"That's
a.m.
the expectation." No, not not for this show. We don't do that.
Lay
We'd
back.
rather you sleep and get your rest. Well, I'm so happy you came on, friend. Like you're a ball of fun and I love your music and
Thank you.
I just think you're awesome and I really appreciate you adjusting your schedule to come on and have some fun and I hope you come back and I'm so excited for your new album. Like
Thank you.
great and I'm very just like humbled by how amazing of a musician you are and just great. I just think you're awesome.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. It was I think for me it's always weird to do this kind of interviews because I feel everyone is different. It's you don't know if people want you to be talking most of the time or if it's more of a dialogue or if it's more of a concert where you have to play like 10 songs or something and I think I was very comfortable with the way we did it. It was yeah.
Well, that's
So,
great.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, I have no expectations. Some people will play like more songs. Some people play like for me, it's like I just go with the flow. If we get to a song, then we get to a song. If we don't, we don't. Like it's just I just don't even. In the beginning I was like that. I was like, okay, it's a structure, But this is like number 410 or something that I've done.
Oh man.
So
a lot of.
Sorry, my phone is telling me I have 10%. So I was like, at this point, I'm just like, it doesn't even matter. I just go with the flow. I just let people talk. And, sometimes we just have more fun and ask more questions and keep going. And so people will tell me what they feel, they'll be like, that was a great one. Or they'll be like, I think you need to add more music or, whatever. Especially if they're like a super fan of whoever is on, they're like, "We wanted more music," and I'm like, "Okay, like, sorry, we'll have them back on again." So yeah, I hear it all over the spectrum, and there's no like right or wrong, honestly. So, but I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you're comfortable. That's the most important to me, and I everything else is just gravy,
Yeah.
So I appreciate you coming on, friend. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. Just hit me up and you can come on anytime.
Yeah, I hope so.
And I'll adjust the time every time, I promise.
Yeah.
I won't make you get up at 4 in the morning. All right. Well, everybody please go check him out. He's such a good trooper for staying up and coming on. We are earlier today, so just be sure to check in on Thursday at the regular time at 7. And thanks to Knoble Designs again for sponsoring us. And we love you guys. Thank you for joining us. Everybody that just popped on, I'm sorry we're leaving now. But, everybody have a great day. And please follow and support Arthur. He's awesome. So anything else you want to say?
No, you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and my music is on every platform. So I would be so happy if you would be listening to that. And yeah. Thanks for watching.
We'll have his music on our Spotify too. Our link is in our bio. So go ahead and check that out. And otherwise, look him up and follow him on Instagram. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining us early and bye. Bye out there.
Bye.